If you recognize this room, then you definitely did watch the 2021 Engen Pitch and Polish series. Welcome back to the Race Corp Prosperator. I'm your host, Rams Mabote. Welcome to the 2022 Engen Pitch and Polish series. Hello, dear contestants, and welcome to the 2022 Engen Pitch and Polish competition. Now, special thanks to our title sponsor, Engen, and our co-sponsor, Nedbank. Now, we're going to take you in and divide into groups and get you to meet your guides. You have done your preparation. Now it's time for action. It's agency, and more agency. You're going to show us your game. Please follow me. I'm so excited to be the 2022 Engen Pitch and Polish host. As an entrepreneur myself, I can't wait to get to know our contestants better and walk the journey with them as they battle it out for the first prize worth 1 million rand. Something that really excites me about Engen Pitch and Polish is how you, the viewer, and I will be learning alongside the contestants as they work on polishing their pitches throughout the competition. And if that's not incentive enough to keep you watching, I should probably mention that we'll be giving away some really amazing viewer prizes in each episode. So stay tuned. Now, this year's competition is once again proudly brought to you by our title sponsor, Engen Petroleum, our gold sponsor, Nedbank, and the program organizer, Race Corp. Last year's venue sponsor, the Business Exchange, is also back. And this year, we're very pleased to welcome on board our new accommodation sponsor, the Maslow Hotel in Sentin, which is hosting our out-of-town contestants in the absolute lap of luxury. Makes me wish I was out of town as I used to be. So, just in case you didn't follow Engen Pitch and Polish last year, here's what's been happening behind the scenes. After arriving at Race Corp in Johannesburg, our 16 contestants were randomly assigned to 4 groups of 4, the red, green, blue and yellow groups. We also held a random draw to pair each contestant with their own Race Corp guide or mentor. The contestants then spent 2 intensive days in learning sessions and one-on-one sessions with their guides before facing the judges for round 1 of the competition. You'll be finding out more about what the contestants have been learning in future episodes. After all, Engen Pitch and Polish is all about sharing pitching knowledge and skills. In the first round of the competition, they will be pitching against one another in their groups, with 2 from each group being eliminated in every second episode. This will leave us with top 8 contestants who will go into round 2. The 2 remaining contestants from each group will go head-to-head in the second round to determine the 1 contestant from each group who will make it through to the semi-final. In the semi-final, the 4 remaining contestants will compete for the coveted spots in the final round. Oh, and there'll also be a wild-card contestants, but we'll get to that a bit later. Before we get down to serious business, earlier I chatted with Race Corp CEO Alon Reis about what you can expect from the 2022 edition of Engen Pitch and Polish. Some interesting tweaks and nuances to follow. Alon, good to see you. What is different about this year's competition?
Thanks, Rams. This year, I'm super excited about this year for predominantly 3 reasons. The first is the contestants. The caliber of contestants this year is just at a completely different level. And they have come from a far more diverse background, not just in terms of the industry, but because of their geography. They're coming from far different places than last year, and so we're far more representative of the whole country this year than last year. When it comes to the judges this year are consistent. So last year, if you remember, we had different judges on different episodes. This year, what we've decided to do is to have consistent judges so that they can see that Pygmalion effect with each of the entrepreneurs, and they've got good relativity. They can see the difference between all the different contestants in a far more in-depth manner. And our judges this year are also incredible. We've got Bulela from Engen, and she's a marketing guru. So she'll be she'll be prying on all the marketing angles. We've got Alan from Nedbank, and so he's of course the money guy. He's going to be asking all the money questions. Does that stack up or that doesn't? And then there's me, who is more on the strategy side, who will be asking more the strategic questions.
On the mean side, you meant? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be so mean this year. I think we've got going to have, just speaking to the other judges, I think there's opportunity for others to become mean as well. And then, of course, learning this year is very important. Last year, the feedback from South Africa was that they also wanted to participate more in the learning and get more learning that the entrepreneurs were exposed to. So we're going to insert a lot more of the learning into the episodes so that our audience can also learn with the contestants.
Brilliant. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get straight into the pitches. And the first courageous contestant for the 2022 Engen Pitch and Polish competition is Lucky Mnigati, all the way from KwaZulu-Natal. All the best, Lucky.
Welcome, Lucky.
Good morning.
You understand you have 90 seconds.
Very much so.
Okay. You understand that you are the first contestant and therefore you are the brave one.
Very brave.
Very brave. Lucky. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Hi judges, my name is Lucky Mnigati, the owner of Ikasamba Trading Enterprise. I'm in the student accommodation business. 3 years ago, I identified a business by seeing a building that was lying unoccupied for a very long time. I approached the owner of the building to convert his building into student accommodation. Currently, I have a long-term contract with the owner of the building, as well as the contract with the university. I'm currently housing 120 students, which are giving me an income of 370,000, which is a turnover. My current expenses comes to 270, which leaves me with 100,000 as a profit. There's a potential for the growth, obviously, with the funding that I'll get from you guys to extend the income with extra 38 beds, which will push us up to which will give us extra 120,000 rands if the building is complete. Furthermore, I've signed a contract to provide 300 students in another building, which will give me an income of 300,000 additional to what my company is making.
Thank you, Lucky. How do you feel?
That was quick.
That was quick. Bulela?
Thank you, Lucky. It's lovely meeting you. A question from me, your plans for the money if you are successful, what would you be looking to do with that money? You've talked about a contract being in place. Are there plans to buy property and own it yourself?
Currently, we're enjoying making money out of somebody's money because we're using the building owner's property to make our own money. So with the injection of 650 or $1 million, we'll add 38 more beds, as I've said, which will give me an additional of 120,000 rand cash injection over and above the 370 that I'm making.
Do you have competitors in this market? Anyone else who's doing what you're doing?
Not so much so, because you have to find a building, convert it into, rezone it first, convert it, and most building owners are very reluctant to do so, because once you convert it into student accommodation, especially the office space, then it becomes very difficult if at the later stage if you want to take your building into office space again. So the market is very the competition is very limited. You must have the building. That's the bottom line. And you must be willing as the owner to take a risk of dropping the value of your own building.
I've got so many questions, but so I'm a banker, so my questions can be sort of numbers related.
All right.
So as I understand things currently, it sounds like you're probably charging around about a 3,000 Rand
Yes.
a room, there or thereabouts.
Yes.
Now, before the clock timed you out, I heard you saying that you've signed a contract to offer another 300 beds.
Yes.
And at the end, I got the impression for another 300,000 Rands
Yes.
turnover.
Yes.
Now, that sounds to me that that's 1,000 Rand per bed.
Yes.
So I'm trying to understand the discrepancy between what you're charging now and what this contract that you would be entering into for the 300,000, sorry, for the 300 additional beds you'd be charging at.
Well, I've signed a contract for 100 students,
Okay.
which would which roughly they charge, depending on the vicinity of the university, they pay like 3,150
Yeah.
per student, which give us like 300,000 Rands extra on top of the 370,000 that I'm currently doing now.
Okay, so
For
the
the
contract, the additional contract's for an extra 100 beds, not 300 beds.
No, 100 beds.
Okay. What is the cost of the conversion? So I'm guessing you're buying a building that's not necessarily set up for students today,
Yes.
but what does it sort of cost you per room or per student accommodation to sort of set up?
Per room, you're looking at about 10,000 Rand per room, depending on the setup of the building. And you also look at the vicinity of the ablution system, as well as the size of the room, because some rooms can take one student and some can take two, and some can take three, which is the maximum. So I would roughly say 10,000 Rands to convert.
Lucky, from our side, just you spoke about in the initial thing about 300,000 Rand. Is that per month or per annum?
Per month.
Per month, right?
Yes.
And you came to 100,000 Rand. What I'm seeing is gross profit.
Yes.
Are there salaries? Is your salary in that
Yes.
200?
The running cost for the whole project is 270.
So your net profit before tax is 100,000 per month.
Yes.
So to me, and that's 1.2 million Rand that you're going to get in free cash flow for the year. I'm assuming you've got a low bad debt that your students pay, or what is your bad debt
Well,
as a percentage?
you're looking at about 40%.
40%.
Yes.
Sure. So the cost then to find a new student, sign them up, that's also in the 200,000 cost of sales.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Lucky, I think we've got enough for your first round. Well done, and you may leave.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks, Lucky.
Thank you.
It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, at 40% bad debt, if it's right, sounds extreme. I mean, there's very few businesses that can sustain themselves with 40% of their customers not paying. So something feels off there. I mean, I know that there's a market for what he's doing. Just wondering how sustainable it is if he's continuing to suffer those type of non-payments, unless he's got a neat mechanism of getting people out of their accommodation and getting new people in.
And they tend to linger.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be responsible for evicting 40% of my tenants each month, you know?
And
Yeah.
students at that.
Yeah, and soon, which is emotional.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think there's definitely a gap in the market for it, considering the amount of buildings that are lying vacant.
Yeah.
I would be interested to see if that 40% is indeed 40%. He did seem caught a bit off guard by that question to me. So I would love to double click on whether it is 40%, because to Alan's point, that would be a bit concerning.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, the other thing for me is I'm also somewhat skeptical of the cost, the setup cost per room, at 10 grand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not in the business, so, you know, maybe it's right, but if it is accurate, it means his payback is awesome, because, I mean, what he's clawing back relative to his cost. But it seems low. It does seem low.
If you work at the square meterage, what the cost per square meter to refurb, it does. If you do that, let's say a room is, I don't know, 3 by 2, you know, six squares. I don't know how big the rooms are, if it's a single.
It depends whether he's furnishing it, fitting it with desks, beds, those type of things. I mean, it's students, they need those type of facilities.
All right, well, we'll see if he gets through, and let's score him. All right.
Lucky, congratulations on being the first.
Thank you very much. It wasn't easy.
What do you think was not easy?
I thought I'd mastered everything, but I mean, but again, I think I've managed to get through all the ideas that my business is all about, and I think the different part was the numbers.
And that should give you some courage. And I'll tell you why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
They didn't ask you about the business. It seems they understand the business. They were asking more about the numbers.
Yeah.
And as you were answering the numbers questions, do you feel that you've given them enough to understand what you're looking for?
I think I've given enough numbers because remember, I'm not cooking this business. It's what I live.
Yeah.
And it's contracts. It's all in black and white, and it's all what is happening as we speak. So I think they've got what they wanted.
Do you think the 40% bad debt answer could mess you up?
Yes, I didn't expect that to come, but I had to provide.
All you know is that it's the truth.
Yes.
And that's important. It's
Yes.
your truth.
It's
It's
my
very
truth.
important.
Yes.
Yeah.
I told them what, as I said, it's what I live. It's exactly what is happening.
What could you have done better now that you think about it?
Well, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any. I believe this the business I'm providing and the opportunity that I've seen is quite unique because I'm making money from somebody's assets, and I can still survive. And there's demand, and there's also I'm also providing a solution.
So, well, congratulations. I hope you make it to the next round. And I hope when you do so, you'll do something different.
Thank you very much, Rams.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Sharp.
Now, I seem to remember that I said something about viewer prize giveaways earlier, and we're kicking off with such a great prize this evening. One lucky viewer will be getting a Take-A-Lot voucher with a whopping 5,000 Rand. All you need to do is to answer the question we're showing on screen right now. Want to win? Then head straight to the Pitch and Polish Facebook page to post your answer before midnight tonight. All correct entries will go into a random draw, and we'll post the name of the winner on our Facebook page by 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. But now, it's time to get cracking with our second and last pitch for tonight. Meet Mohammed Bulbilia, the owner of Hoopy Solutions, Gauteng-based organization. Let's see how Mohammed gets on right here in the pitching arena.
Mohammed, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Are you prepared?
As prepared as I'll ever be.
Okay, you know it's 90 seconds?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Mohammed, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pitch and polish.
My name is Mohammed Ismail Bulbulia, and I am a CASA. It feels good to say that, but my CA journey has been anything but a clean audit. In campus, I was convinced that anything accounting was extremely uncool, which culminated in my failing third year in spectacular fashion. Well, after that, I decided to give it a genuine try, and to my pleasant surprise, I actually really enjoyed it. I then served my articles at a Big Four firm in the financial services sector where I learned a ton. But the most important lesson to me was I wanted to be more in charge of my own time. Many of the 50,000 other CAs can relate to this too, which is why when SAICA revamped their CPD policy to make compliance more stringent and admin intensive, my startup, my CA Hub, identified an opportunity. We've already developed and launched an all-in-one solution that makes CPD compliance as easy as possible for CAs and saves them hours of time on admin. We've spoken to over 60 CAs as part of our sales refinement, with our software currently being used by Transaction Capital, which is a JSE-listed firm, as well as SA Taxi, the Wits School of Accountancy, and a number of other CAs with an annual retention rate of over 90%. What we now need is exposure to grow, and we'd use the prize money in two ways. Firstly, for a marketing campaign to reach more individual CAs, as well as establish further credibility for more corporate subscriptions. Secondly, on further software development to improve our software based on user feedback. This will help us refine our product and reach more users. That's why we're in it to win it. Thank you for your time.
Very good timing. Very good timing. Do you want to start, Bolena?
Thank you, Mohammed. That was very insightful. Why you? Why should we choose you?
Firstly, I'm a young black CA entrepreneur. We're helping CAs save time, and I think personally, I have a lot to offer, not only CAs, but the broader community. Part of our business that I haven't mentioned, we try to make financial literacy awesome for everyone else. We give free financial literacy workshops, and we're hosting a financial literacy club at St. John's College, where so that's why us. We're doing a lot more than just CPD.
Yeah, thanks, Mohammed, and good to meet you. So I think I'm interested in the numbers, and we didn't get there in terms of your pitch. So what are the economics of what you're trying to achieve here, and what is it going to require for it to be sort of sustainable and profitable for you?
Right. At this stage, I'm not going to reveal any numbers because I know my competitors are probably watching this very closely. What I can say is, on a month-to-month basis, we are currently covering all our expenses, and the way we've set up our infrastructure ready to scale in fixed step costs means that we can currently scale to 4 times our current user base right now at the same cost base. Everything has been designed ready to scale and potentially accommodate all 50,000 CAs.
I'm trying to ask a question that is sensitive to what you're sensitive about, which is your competitors watching this. So, I mean, are you able to reveal how many customers you've got at the moment that are, because I'm getting the sense from what you're saying is that you're breaking even, where you're at the moment with your current customer base. You can ramp that up 4 times what you've got at the moment on the existing infrastructure. How many customers have you got at the moment?
So I'm not going to be able to reveal direct numbers exactly, but we have enough to have all the CAs at Transaction Capital, the Wits School of Accountancy, SA Taxi, to have established credibility with them to onboard, and a number of other CAs as well.
Okay. Because I guess what I'm trying to figure out, which I'm still not closer to, is whether there's enough demand for you to ramp your business up 4 times in terms of available market to you.
So as per the CPD policy, every CA has to comply. Every CA has to comply. It's mandatory compliance on an annual basis. So the potential market is every registered CA that would want to spend less time on CPD compliance.
What percentage of the CAs do you think you have at the moment?
I'm not going to be, but that would be an easy work back.
Okay.
First of all, I don't know what you do. I mean, you spoke very fast and it sounded great, but just in one sentence, what do you do?
We create software solutions for chartered accountants. In one sentence.
That does what?
Our primary software solution makes CPD compliance as easy as possible.
So you make CPD compliance software for now?
That's our first product.
First product.
We have
okay.
other, yeah.
Okay. You realize that once you're in the market more, your competitors are going to go to your website, right? So, and then they're going to try copy, which everyone has, you know. Even Nedbank's got competitors, Engen's got competitors, I've got competitors. But you make it very hard for us as judges to try and work out whether this is viable. We just have to take your word for it. So you make it very hard for us to ascertain whether this is a scalable, sustainable business. You just trust me. But I can't show you the numbers, but just trust me.
Sure. I think maybe some information I could provide is there are large, I know the reason I said that is I know my competitors already look at my website and update their websites based on what I've put out, so I'm aware of that. I think where we have an edge is under the new policy, you don't have to pay for CPD courses anymore. And my competitors' business models seem to be based around creating CPD courses on IFRS updates, tax updates, which they then release. But the policy says you don't have to pay for that anymore. In fact, self-study activities now count, reading articles, watching videos, attending seminars. So our software is tailor-made, incorporated with the compliance. We've also developed a Google Chrome extension, which allows you to add any article or video instantly to your CPD plan. And then on top of that, we've released the newsletter, and we have another solution as a database. So not only are we focused entirely mostly on the software aspect of it, we can also, our pricing is also much better.
Okay, Mohammed, I think we sort of heard enough. I don't know if we've got enough substance, but we sort of heard enough. You may leave. Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mohammed.
So, what do you think, Villa?
Very confident, very well prepared.
Yeah.
But I think to your point, I'm not a CA, so I don't know what that software does. I think he could have spent a bit more time just for the layman explaining what exactly his product offering is beyond just those who know.
What do you feel about him not revealing the numbers?
I do understand where he's coming from, but I think perhaps he could have put more thought into what he can reveal that would help his pitch without exposing himself to his competitors, just to give us more to score on.
Alan, as the banker?
Yeah, no, so I think that Bulel's point is right. He could have put more thought into how he could reveal something that gives us a better indication of what his growth prospects are. Because I don't know, as I sit here, whether he's got 1% of the market, 50% of the market. If he's got 50% of the market, which I doubt, but if he did, he can't scale that business 4 times because he's looking after quite a small market.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, if the CAs are his sole market, then you can run on a road with that quite quickly. Because there is only so many chartered accountants in the country.
Yeah.
And maybe that can be overcome, depending whatever the future plans are, or whether some of this technology can be scaled into other applications, but we don't know that.
You did speak about this as the first product, so I get that. But I don't know, something in me, I don't know, when that happens, it's generally that it's much smaller than you expect, that you don't want to reveal. Because if you did have, we've got 25% of the market, you're not going to be afraid of the competitors. So that's sort of what I'm implying. But let's go, Mark. Let's score.
Mohammed, congratulations. But first of all, I don't take kindly to contestants that address me.
Oh, Rams.
It's not a good thing, but it's a compliment.
Thank you.
Looking good. How do you feel about that pitch?
Honestly, I feel good in the sense that my pitch, I was able to get it out, speak concisely, covered the points that I wanted to in the allocated time. The questions were tough. I was anticipating tough questions, but I think I addressed them doing the best I could with what I wanted to give.
Do you think they got you?
I think they got most of what I was trying to get across. There's always space to improve, but I think they got the gist of what I wanted to say.
In your heart of hearts, do you think you'll make it?
I'm comfortable that I've done my best and represented myself well, and we'll see what happens.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Rams.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of our first episode. Remember to join us every Tuesday night at 1900 hours for the next 15 weeks as we find out who is able to pitch and polish themselves all the way to the 1 million rand grand prize. You can watch all episodes on the Pitch and Polish Facebook page, YouTube channel, and website. Next time, we'll see the pitches of the 2 remaining contestants from the red group and also find out who will be going through to round 2 and who will be going home. Put it in your diary, next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. From me, Rams Mabote, good night and God bless.